excited we're gonna dance with what we got, right? So Steven, what do you think? Should we let this crazy person in?
On the phone? Yes, let him
Yeah,
in, baby. Let
yeah.
him
So
in.
let's. Who is this? I wonder. We have somebody on the line. Who is it?
Hello, Coach Felix.
Hello, Mr. Mark Clark. It's Coach Elex and Steven
Yeah,
Dominguez.
what am I, invisible? Did you
Well,
forget me?
you didn't give me a second. Hello, Stephen. Hello, David. Hello, Jim.
So for people that don't know, Mark, for the majority of your show is in my show that he's been producing our show. Oh, I think you have to lower
Mark,
your radio.
make sure you lower your phone or something because we're
There's an
hearing
echo.
the echo.
Oh, I have you on speaker. Hold on a second.
Okay.
You would think this professional here that's had his own show, that's been radio for a long time, would have known that. But,
And
emphasis on
produce
potential.
our show, mind you,
Yes.
both mine and yours. But clearly he's been out of it for a little too long. But I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about what what is happening in Mark's world. So Mark, tell us when you're back.
Okay, is that better? Or can you?
I think it's better. We'll dance. Just go with it. Go with it. So tell us what is happening with you, Mark.
Yes, in Mark's world.
Well, to let you know the story, but to share it, I had a problem with something called Charcot foot, and a lot of people don't know about it. It's primarily diabetics can develop this. The bones in your foot collapse, and you can't walk, actually. So I was bedridden for 2 months, had some therapy. They brought me back and let me go home, and then I had a fall at home. So I ended up back, and now I'm back in physical therapy.
And how is that going now, Mark? With your ETA, like when you're going to get out of there?
It may be a little bit. I'm having to learn how to walk again because I was off my feet for so long. They have me on a walker. I can only put partial weight on my foot. So right now it's balance issues, etc.
How are you feeling?
I'm, I'm pretty good. I have my days. It's up and down. Hopefully I'll be out of here by the end of the month.
Well, good. Remember, you have a New York trip to prepare to, so you better get out of there.
Yeah, hopefully. It don't really look like I might make it, but we'll see how things go.
Well, when is that New York trip, Mark?
October 1st.
I think you got plenty of opportunity. We're gonna create with you, create the intention that you're gonna be able to make that trip because that's gonna be a positive thing for you.
Yes, for your mind.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Now, Mark, you've been part of our show for years and years and years, so you know what this is about. So I'm gonna ask you a Coach Elex style question because if you were a listener, I'd be asking this question. So what have you learned from this experience? What are you walking away with from the adversity?
Uh, well, trying to stay strong and be positive. Um, in 2 years, I went into a diabetic coma. I've had AFib, and now this. Pretty much a test of staying optimistic that I can clear all these hurdles. And I want to see how much help I've had from you guys and from the listeners and my friends sending me messages of encouragement. And that makes me keep on going and, do the therapy when I don't feel it.
Yeah. Stephen, what would you say to Mark? What?
One of the things I was going to say, Mark, is that it's okay to, because social media is a way that you can hit everybody, right? And all of us love that you're giving updates via social media. And just always remember, when you talk about collectively all of us who love you, that you can just throw in like a one-liner saying, I'm moving along, but I would love for some prayers, because that collective way that we all get together and send prayers to you, prayers that are going to get you healthy and get you progressing and get you through therapy, to get you out, to be able to go to New York, to babysit your friends' kiddies and all of that. That's really, really substantial, and it really works. So it's something that you may think about.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like, woe is me. And, I'm not looking for pity or anything like that, because I don't really like when people do that.
Well, you're not asking for Kentucky Fried Chicken every Thursday. You're asking for prayers,
for intention.
I think that's in your head, Mark, because when I see, and I think most people see somebody saying, if you can, I would love to have some prayers sent here. I think everybody looking at that and reading it feels very powerful. Like, yes, let me get my team, let me get my village in spirit in my prayers and send them to him. So throw that out, as Coach Elix would say. That's or as Stephen would say, that's kooky talk. Just throw that out. Yes.
Exactly. And by the way, there's nothing bad with expecting a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken every Thursday. So you could ask for that too, but
Elix, can we start with the prayers first?
Well,
seriously,
start with the prayers, and the chicken can follow if you want. just
prayers and chicken. What's better?
I mean, hello. Listen, I'm a foodie, so I'm always thinking about food. So, yeah. But the thing about that, what Stephen said, is the collective power of prayer. Like when you put that out there, people that don't even know you will be sending you a prayer. And collectively, that there is nothing more powerful than that, Mark. And that is what can be the fuel to get you healed and to get you back home sooner than you think.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's been very helpful, because I read everything that's sent to me, and I try to acknowledge the people that are doing this for me, and they don't know. I don't think they really know how much it means to me. It really does. I'm very grateful to all of you. And besides, I got to get back in that chair at 1:00 on Fridays.
Yeah. Now we're talking. That's good.
We want you in that chair. The person, honestly, Mark, the person that it's covering for you, it's so. We can definitely do better. So get better. Okay, get back on that chair sooner than you think.
So let me start talking, because I'm sure now at this point Elix's microphone has been muted.
Oh, my show has been canceled. I'll receive the notification your show has been canceled, but thankfully, Oh, okay. So our producer
we love you,
chimed right in and reminded me we do need to take a break. So, Mark, thank you for calling. We're sending you lots of love, lots of healing, and
we'll check in with you.
Yeah, and if you're listening, please stay tuned. We are just talking today. And if you want to call us, give us a call 508 222 1320. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Dave.
And hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Get a Grip with Coach Elex. I'm your host, Coach Elex, and with me, my amazing co host,
Stephen Frederick.
Attorney Masek, Stephen the Medium. Also, my husband is in the house today. We have no agenda, just live connection, conversation. And it's, there's no big topic or, there's no perfectly planned conversation. Just Stephen and I wanting to talk, have a conversation with all of you listening about life, about what's happening, about what we've learned, maybe even about some things that we haven't figured out yet, because that's really life happens to both of us also, just like it happens to all of you. So much of what we talk about on the show is about growth, is about transformation, healing, purpose, and becoming. But life actually doesn't always arrive neatly packaged into that lesson. Sometimes we simply have to just step into it and live it. And maybe there is something valuable about creating that space to step into it, not knowing, just pausing, reconnecting, learning to laugh, ask questions, and admit what we don't know that we don't know, because most importantly, sometimes feeling or wanting to be heard is what matters the most. So, Stephen, with all of that said, you and I have had some pretty amazing conversations over the past few days. Is there anything in particular that you want to kick off as a way to start the conversation with our listeners?
Yeah. Yes. It's all about my Achilles tendon. That's where I want to start this. This is
Oh
an
my
open
God.
forum. Yes.
Serious.
Even though
I'm
you
going
can't, you,
deep in life, and you're going into the Achilles
yeah, I
tendon
was gonna
that's
say you can't
bothering
help
you.
you can't help yourself. It's like you had to give that little scripted, like it's not open forum. It's there's something here. We just need to go by the seat of our pants, right? That's what we need to
So,
do.
so let's
And
talk
this is
about Steven's Achilles,
yes, okay.
heel
So
issue.
let me just say this. So this open forum is about anything, and this is what's
It
been on my
is.
mind over the past couple of days. So where we live in the back, there's 30 acres of conservation land, all walking trails. I run all the time, so I don't drive anywhere. I come out the back door and I walk up to the trail and boom, have the earbuds in and I start running, right? And there's a cranberry bog or bogs way back there. And I'm so all through the paths. Well, since we've had so many storms since the winter and then just other storms, there's been some huge trees that have fallen. And there's volunteers that work to keep that conservation land clear. So, but they were having issues because number one, with all the winter weather we had and whatnot, they couldn't get to it. And finally, everything cleared, and so they got everything cleared about I don't know 2 weeks ago maybe. So Stephen is very excited because I couldn't run through all the paths. I would have to take a detour and like run around the cranberry bogs, which is outside of sort of the woods, because I can't get over these like monster trees that have fallen across the paths. So I think I became a little bit vigorous, if you will,
Just a
and
little bit.
decided, oh my God, finally all the paths are clear. And I give a big shout out to all these guys that they're pretty incredible. So I am just flying through up and down these hills, and I think I just went a little too much. And yesterday or 2 days ago, I started feeling like my left leg, the Achilles tendon, being a little sore. So I'm in like recoup right now. I have yesterday and today I did the stationary bike, and I got to tell you, for anybody who has a little bit of an injury or any injury, that sentiment that used to be like rested is no more. Like you can't follow that because you need the blood surging around it. And I did the bike for like 50 minutes this morning, and when I got off, my foot felt the best it's felt. So, and I'm slowly getting in. Maybe tomorrow, I'll be running.
Yeah,
I was just waiting. I was just waiting for something from you.
No. I can't. I'm just gonna do what I normally do because since
Roll
you
your
think
eyes?
I'm so well, I've been rolling my eyes for the last 2 days, but clearly, as you said, you went from 0 to 1,000.
Yes.
So what has life taught you in this very moment? Let's hear
About the
it.
subject?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Well, you know what? It teaches me this all the time because last summer I was flying down the stairs in these ridiculous sandals and I tripped, and how I didn't do more damage than I did is beyond me. But I smashed into the wall, these steep stairs, and I hurt my back, and I was.
And can you tell our listeners like what exactly were you doing? Because that's sort of like you're sort of like giving them the nice version of what you were doing. You were running around doing what?
Playing with the dog.
Yeah, I could hear screams, and and I'm thinking, what the hell is happening? And then all of a sudden, a big commotion down the stairs, bang, bam, boom, boom. And it's Steven.
Yeah, that was me. But the most important thing was Django was behind me, so he was good. He was fine. In any case, so that I was off, like not running for a month, and because of my back, and that was, was that 2 years? Maybe that was even 2 years ago. I don't remember. But what? Every time something like this happens, I think about this all the time anyway, Elix. I really do, about just being grateful for my health and being able to just run out and run and love that. But this, puts a little bit more sort of focus on when I can't do it. It's sort of exaggerated of, I just have to keep reminding myself how grateful I am to have, again, this health and be able to do what I love and to run. So that's something that I've learned since since I started like really running again, which has been a number of years. But it's I think it's important to not only keep with you when you have an injury, but to keep with you every single day. And I really do that. So that's definitely something I've learned.
Yeah, and listen, I understand it. I'm a CrossFitter, and as you have been very open about, I have 1,000 injuries all the time, and it's really about like we got to learn to be responsible. We got to learn to pause. We got to learn to pay attention and to bring self awareness to what we do, because when we're not that's where the injuries come from. But I also think, though, Stephen, that sometimes, and you've been the one reminding me of this, that the universe has ways to sort of nudge us, right?
Yes.
When it wants us to slow down and we're not paying attention, we get a little reminder, more than a whisper, right? What would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, it was one of those things that sometimes I'm not really good with assessing what's going on. Like, I don't know when this was. I was running and I went a different route near the cranberry bogs and I rolled my ankle. Like my ankle like went sideways to like the ankle on
That was
the
pretty
outside
bad. Yes.
touched the ground. Like literally touched, my whole foot went sideways. I finished the run, and of course, knock on wood, thank God, nothing happened. There was nothing like I had to go to the hospital, surgery, nothing like that. It took obviously a little bit for the swelling to go down and whatnot, but I kept running, thinking, well, I'll just loosen it up. I'll sort of shake it off, and call me like not being aware. I don't know. And when this happened too, because I've had this before to a smaller degree, I didn't think of the connection of, okay, I haven't ran up these hills, and that's really what has caused the Achilles tendon to have some issues. I haven't done that. And then of course, if you're going up the hills, which means you got to come down the hill, because I'm always doing mostly flat, even though it's trails. So I just thought, no, I mean, I felt this a little bit before, and I'm sure like I just need to keep running. But one thing I also like was reminded of is I am not good at remembering to stretch either before or after. I mean, there's some people that say do it before, some people say do it after, some say do both. But I definitely am going to be more conscious. What was that, Elix?
A lot of people say do it both, before and after. Yes.
I don't at all. I just get out and start running. But there's this word called cadence when you run. If like you're a runner, you understand this. So when I use my application on my phone, at the end of the run, I'll know exactly how long it took, how many miles I went. And one of the things is cadence. And I did realize, because I look at it every time I run, over the past like week or so, my cadence has been definitely down, and it's because when you're running in those backwoods, I have to be watching the what's in front of me, because there's roots everywhere, so that I don't trip or I don't roll my ankle or so, which then makes me go slower, or the steps are a little bit wider, which like shortens my cadence. So all of that is, when you shorten you decrease your cadence, that means that you increase the probability that you can get hurt. All of that is something that I think, like you said, Elix, you get whispers, and then you get sort of touches, and then you just get a house like dropped on you of spirit saying, listen, kid, you have to pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. And you got to be responsible, taking ownership that you have something to do with the way things are. And when you twist your ankle that way, and then you keep running, and then you come home, and your foot looks like a balloon, and you're like, oh yeah, but I finished my run. I'm like, Stephen, no good.
Well, you know what? It could have been worse. I'm learning as I keep moving forward with this. And if anybody wants to send me flowers, that'd be nice.
Or a meal, maybe a chicken bucket. Well, you don't eat chicken, so that would.
Listen,
you can send it for me.
I don't eat meat. Yeah, at all.
But I do.
Yes.
Maybe they can send me a bucket of chicken.
That's not going to work.
On Thursday.
You know what? Someone said that, I'd unsubscribe them. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. But before I hear another no from our producer, who I am sure is anxious to jump in and say, once again, you're late and you need to take another break, because I know he's trying to stick it to us today. Let's take a break, and we're gonna continue the chatter. Again, there's no script, there's no agenda. We're just talking. And if you are listening and you have something in mind, and you want to ask the question, this is your opportunity to have two for the price of one. So give us a call, 508-222-1320. We will be right back. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Get a Grip with Coach Helix. I'm your host, Coach Helix, and with me, my amazing co host,
Attorney Masick.
Stephen the Medium, also my husband. And today, we're just talking. We don't have an agenda, we don't have a topic, we don't have a planned conversation. It's just Stephen and I here with you talking about life, about what's happening, about what we've learned or learning. So, Stephen, what else would you like to share with our listeners today?
You know, I was thinking about, if people don't know, Elix usually on a daily basis will do a video. And if you're on social media or LinkedIn, you should check it out because they're just incredible. They're like a minute or whatever the case may be of just these amazing tips and makes you really think, like when you're listening and how so much of what you say, Alex, is so applicable to every one of us in some way, shape, or form. And I was thinking, because I watched Joe's this morning, which of course, as I always love them, I loved it again. And I was thinking, when you talked about perception and like, it's not particularly. As a matter of fact, I just did this in a introduction or an advertisement for a class I'm doing in September about like contracts before we come here and whatnot. And I pretty much said the same thing about, it's if you're having some issues like feeling a certain way with anxiety or anger or whatever the case may be, that it's really never about the actual situation. It's about your perception. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking when you said that too today in that video is something that can really be simple to fix, but people just don't. Most people just don't do it. But it's wild because I was also thinking, but that is the best interest of all of us, right? And I think it's sort of when you decide that and you respond versus react, you go to a way of like finding so much more stuff that you can let go of or bring in, right? I mean, that perception thing, I don't know. Maybe it's because I know it doesn't seem difficult, but yet I'd be the first to tell you for many, many years, my perception was reaction, not responding.
Yeah. Yeah. Stephen, I think that, and thank you for bringing to my attention my reels. Every reel that I do because it comes from a part of me where I'm in it, right? I'm experiencing that, I do it usually Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. And I think on either Monday or Wednesday, I did a reel about still having that chatter about not good enough, right? And people would say, oh my God, but you're so highly trained and you have accomplished so much. But that's the point. It's never about that. We both, in you, if you're listening, if you look at your life, you've accomplished a whole lot. But sometimes that little gremlin comes back. And comes back again and again. And so I wanted to talk about, when that happens, how do I deal with that little gremlin? So that's one of the videos. Today's video, for me personally, I would call that almost like an aha moment. And I titled the video, The Real Life Just Is, because we're so conditioned to add meaning to everything, right? And when I took the time to just be present to what is, not the meaning, not the bad or the good or whatever meaning we add, I just realized it just is. So in other words, life just is. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is, and we're the one who add meaning to it. We're the ones that when something happens, we immediately make it mean something, and often make it mean something about us, right? About we're not good enough, or we're not this enough, or our life is not good. And for me, and again, this ties into conversations that you and I have almost every day, is just realizing, wait a minute, it just is. That's it. Life just is. And I think of you, Stephen, because I've learned so much about spirit and what you teach me from the spirit perspective. And that's what I got. Spirit doesn't come with meaning of any kind. It just is, right?
Right.
And it's up to us to fill it in. And so for me, it's just such a beautiful way to remind myself, listen, yeah, it's up to me. Life just is. So how am I going to fill that in? And that doesn't mean that there's no, moments that are not difficult. It doesn't mean that there are moments that are not unexpected, or that they're unexpected, or, there are moments where, we experience pain or hurt or anxiety. It doesn't mean any of that. Those moments are whatever the moments are. But what's the value here is to remember they are whatever they are. The meaning that you give those moments is what's going to help you determine how you move forward from that. You get what I'm saying, Stephen?
Yeah, and I think the issue is with a lot of people, including myself, for many, many years, is that when there's no awareness of that last statement about, like, if you know, or how you respond or react is going to really dictate where you go forward, because most people don't know when they're reacting to something. As you just said, it's their perception and they're reacting. They're really, like, as soon as that reaction is starting, it's sort of supplied by something that happened in their past that is like your brain is in your ego so smart and so quick to find it. Where were you hurt again back then? And it's like a, like a filing system, and they go right to it and they revive that file and say, oh, right here, before you react, remember this, remember those feelings. They're really applicable to this situation, and then that perception is created, and then like chaos happens. And most people don't get that. No, most people don't know that that perception leads to a reaction that is way back in the past in your filing system that still sitting there.
Yeah. And and that also almost ties into, I share with you, I read these little daily teachings every day, and I got one this week, and I wanted to share it with you, but then I forgot. It's about, how sometimes the words that we use, they give us, they add meaning to what it is that we are experiencing. So you got to be very careful. You got to start listening to your words and to what it is that you're speaking out loud, because whatever it is that you're speaking out loud, it's giving meaning to what is happening in your life. So that alone is an almost like an actionable practice to change, the experience, whatever that is for you. Don't know if that makes sense for you, Stuart.
Yeah, of course it does, and I think it's even mentally, right? It doesn't have to be verbally or vocally. It's just
correct.
It's mentally. I always tell people when I'm teaching courses or just in readings, whatever the case may be, that whatever is going on with you internally, meaning a big part of that is what you're saying to yourself, how you feel about yourself, that whole script you have is absolutely a direct link of exactly what you're seeing externally. There's no question. Whatever you think about yourself internally is exactly what's going to appear externally, whether you know it or not. Just the way it is. And so, like, when people keep saying, I got the worst. I have the worst luck. Like, bad things just keep happening to me. Well, they keep happening to you externally because they keep happening to you, or you making it happen internally. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just recently had a conversation with a client, and her focus was, oh my God, this situation is horrible. And she kept using that word. It's horrible. It's terrible. It's no. And I said, the situation is whatever the situation is. If you keep saying it's horrible, that's the meaning you're adding to it. The situation is, period. Whatever you make of it is what you're going to walk away. That's the reality that you're creating for yourself. Now, that doesn't mean in what she turned to me is, well, but you don't, are you condoning, the behavior? And I said, no, I'm not saying that it's not, it's not appropriate. I'm not saying that it's not, it wouldn't land as painful for you or, or difficult. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is that if you want to break through what it is that you're experiencing, because again, life is going to happen. Life happens to all of us and for all of us. That you can take that one to the bank, and there's going to be plenty of good. There's going to be plenty of bad and plenty of in between. So, but the question is, how are you going to relate to that? Are you the source of how the situation occurs to you, or are you the cause of the situation in which you find yourself? And right there, that's the answer. That's a possible answer to have a breakthrough in life, in whatever it is that may be happening for you right now. Yeah. But right now, Stephen, I know we need to take another break. So let's do that, and then when we come back, we'll continue with this chat between Stephen and I. We'll be right back. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Get a Grip with Coach Elix. I'm your host, Coach Elix, and with me, my amazing co-host,
Stephen the Medium.
Stephen the Medium, also my amazing husband. And today, we decided to have a unscripted, even though Stephen would argue differently because he says I can't help myself, but it's an unscripted conversation.
Sure.
There's no agenda, there's no topics. It's just you and I. You, whomever you are listening at home or at work, having a conversation with us. That's it. So, Stephen, what else? What else do you think it's an important conversation to have with our listeners?
I think, you know what? Something that's very, very important is to make sure that as you go through this journey, you have silliness and joy and fun. And I say that not just because that's what I love doing, it's because I do readings almost every single day. And I've said this before, it's like every other reading. Someone I'm talking to someone who's dead will make a comment on that or give advice to whoever I'm reading, excuse me, based on their experience being here, walking the physical earth and now being in spirit, that they wished, if they had one regret, they wish they could come back and have just more fun and silliness. And I would just prompt anybody who's on social media that hasn't seen our Watusi dance to go under either social media like Instagram or Facebook and take a look at it, because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's hilarious.
He thinks he's hilarious. I'm doing a dance. I had no idea what I was doing. He took it so seriously. He had me do like I don't know, 10 different takes.
Come on,
And
Elix.
he,
It wasn't.
it was a
serious.
lot of takes. And I watched him, watch rewind 100 times, and you were laughing as if you were watching the Carol Burnett show.
Yes, I was. Yeah. And, listen, for everyone listening, let me just lay it out here. Weeks and weeks and weeks, I've been telling Elix, I sent him the video. And mind you, we already did a Bad Bunny little dance. And when
Yeah, but that's
Elix,
Bad Bunny. Come on.
Exactly. When you wanted that was like, oh, yeah, we got to get it done, and we got to get it done, which we did, right? So weeks and weeks and weeks go by. I'm like, look, we got to do another dance. And I sent it, and I kept asking him. I'm like, I'm just going to find like a pseudo husband to do it with. Another Latino that maybe I'll just say it's you and the lighting was bad or something.
Yeah,
finally,
that's credible, right, people?
Yeah,
yeah, quite credible. Go ahead.
Finally, you asked me something to help you with. I think it was something legal, and I was like, sure, I'll take care of it as long as by an hour you take a look at this video and we do the Watusi, and from 1962 when it debuted, and we did, and it was hilarious. Of course you got to get at least some of the basics right, but look, it was so much fun doing, and every time I look at it, and the comments are just hilarious. People love that, especially people that just don't do that. If it brings someone to a smile, then I think that's a great, beautiful thing. But so many people are just so concerned, again, like me years ago, and maybe not even years ago, just not that long ago, of being so concerned about what people think or what their perception's going to be or what my image is going to look like. And you know what, as long as you're coming from a authentic, genuine place and you want to have fun, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. And that goes back to, we've talked about this many times, is, are you being driven by that ego, right? That need to look good, that need to be perfect, that need to show that you have it, or you have more than, or whatever that is, and we can say that's a mechanism, and it's a mechanism that we've all have used at one point or another, because it's a mechanism that really protects us, right, from looking back bad, or from failing, or for whatever. So we pretend, we try to look good, and we are doing with ego-based stuff. But I will say this, Stephen, and again, this is one of those recent conversations that you had. I don't want, like, my circle is just my circle. Like, I want the people in my circle to be people that I am fully connected with at every level, spiritual, physical, like every level, right? And I don't want my circle to be with people that are so driven by ego, so superficial. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't fill my bucket. Like, when somebody's talking to me, and that doesn't mean, by the way, people, please believe me, we love great things and we love living a great life. But I will tell you, if I had an option of winning the lottery or having Steven's health, I'm going to pick that. Because if you weren't here and you were not healthy, winning the lottery would be meaningless to me. And but I think we sometimes get so driven by that ego that we lose sight, we lose perspective. You agree, Stephen?
Yeah, and on many, many levels, because the ego doesn't just, it's not cut and dry. It just doesn't stop there. What happens, people that have people in their circle that, are either superficial or they know that they're not necessarily fitting like what they want, or maybe in some level they are or so, but then that just means when that person's not there, they just talk about them. And it's just the ego just keeps going, and it's certainly is thinking it's serving a purpose, but it really isn't. I think what you just said, Elix, is one of the most important things. Is the people that are around you, almost like what I just said about what's internal. People around you are really going to also dictate your life, like what is happening in your life. And when you find those people that you're so aligned with, you just hold on to them forever.
Yeah, because they feel your bucket, right? They really feel your bucket. And and I believe me, I'm at a stage in my life where somebody says to me or engage in a conversation where they just need to prove they have better things or they're doing bigger things. I'm okay with that. Good for you. Because I don't have a need to now go into a debate with you about, well, but we have this. No, I'm like, okay, good for you. I'm happy for you. God bless you. So that's my take on that.
I think that's a good take. And on a completely different subject, this is open forum. I know I don't have a lot of time, but I got to just tell you something very funny that I didn't even tell you. So a couple of weeks ago, Elix and I watched Grey Gardens. It's a documentary from 1975. Well, I watched it. Elix fell asleep, and I loved it, about Big Edie and Little Edie. And Little Edie, who was like the best character, I love this documentary, she kept, this is 75, she kept using the term, like she was talking to the camera people, she was like, oh my God, I'm mad about New York. I'm mad about it. Meaning that she loves it and all about blah, blah, blah. She used it a couple of times. So 2 nights ago, I texted my best friend, Paul, who just redid his living room, and we were just texting about something, and then the last text I said to him is, oh, and by the way, I am mad about your living room. And his response was, oh my God, I thought you liked it.
I'm shocked because you've known this guy for 30 plus years. And so the fact that he questioned your silliness, it's beyond me.
Well, I mean, no, he just didn't get it. Sometimes, I get wrapped in my head, and I just love the way that sounded, like in a good way. Like, oh my God, I'm mad about this. Meaning, I love your living room furniture. I love what you did to the room, and I just came out with it. Like, I'm mad about your living room, and his reaction was until I said, that's an old saying that I'm trying to bring back. So make sure if you're listening at some point, when you see, your spouse or your kids or your family or friends, and you see something they're wearing, just look at them and say, I am mad about your blouse. I'm mad about your shoes. Just see what happens. And maybe if it's a certain age-wise, maybe they'll know. But I think it's interesting to see what the response would be.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, talking about being mad about something, I'm mad about the shirts that I wear. And so I want to do a shout out to Coach Eric and Christopher, one of my peers at CrossFit, because they've been coming after my shirts recently, which I find super ironic because neither one of them has any kind of qualifications to talk about fashion. So I am mad about that. I'm mad about my shirts.
Me too. I'm mad about your shirts too.
That's right.
I love them.
The more fun you make of my shirts, the more mad I am about them. So there.
See, I love how you're using that. So everybody just use it and see what the response is. So I know we have to end, so I'll just throw it right out. If you're looking for me, you can find me under Stephen the Medium. Check out my website because I've got events coming up. I know there's some that are sold out. I have some events, but I also have a virtual course that go take a look because
you want to do this.
I know it's going to be just incredible.
Yes, and I'm going to be doing that course. Just so if you want 2 for the price of 1, I'm going to be a student in that course.
It's a workshop. It's just one day.
One
workshop,
day. 3 hours, I think it is.
Yes.
So I'm in. I am in. Yes. And if you're not following me, I don't even want to know. I'm mad about people who follow me. So you can find me at coachelix.com. So, oh my God. See what happens, how ridiculous I become when I'm around these silly.
It's all love.
Yeah. So coachelix.com, anywhere on social media. And in the interim, A huge thank you to Dave, our producer. We do love him, even if we give him a hard time, or he takes, I don't know how much time off he's been taking lately, we still love him. We love Jim, because Jim, when Dave decides to take time off, Jim steps in and doesn't miss a beat. And everyone at WARA 1320, thank you for all that you do. And we'll be back next week. So stay tuned. See you then. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.